Okay guys, we're now going to take a look at the graphical user interface of my Altitude 32 processor. Like I said before, this is literally identical to the Altitude 16, so everything you see here will be on the Altitude 16 as well. This is the main page, so as soon as you boot up your processor and you log into the processor via VNC, this is the first page you're going to see. It's the play page. Here you have the master volume, so you can adjust the volume. We have a mute button, a dim button. So basically I have mine set to -20 dB. So if you look at the master volume, it's now at -45. If I undim it, it will be -25. So there's a 20 dB drop every time I press the dim. That can be adjusted in the info settings here. If you look at the startup in this section here, you can adjust your dim level and you can adjust your master maximum master volume here, which I have mine set to -15. So going back to the main page, we have sources, which gives you the opportunity to select the sources, the various sources that you may have. At the moment I only have my HDPC connected for demo purposes, so mine is at HDMI 1, which is here, and I've changed the name to HDPC. In this tab you'll see the relevant information to my source input. So I've got the HDPC connected to my HDMI 1 audio input, and the output is analog plus AES 181724. So video in is not available because at the moment I only have the HDMI output from my HTPC and not from the Altitude 32, so you won't see any video in or out information here. So if you look at the in sources, at the moment I've got Ford versus Ferrari playing in the on my HTPC, and it says the format of audio is DTS HD Master Audio and the upmix is Neural X. So if you look at the bottom here, you will see the decoders, and also it states the codec is DTS HD Master Audio, data type is bit streaming, audio bit rate, sampling rate, and listening format. So if you click on the listening format, you're able to change the upmix option. I like to leave mine on auto, that way it changes it relevantly to what the format of the movie is. So if it's DTS HD Master, it'll upmix it to Neural X. If it's DTSX Pro, if it's DTSX, then it won't upmix it unless I select Neural X, and then it will be DTSX Pro, which means I'll have every single channel in my system playing all together. If you leave it on auto again and you play a Dolby Atmos movie, again there will be no upmix. It will just be Dolby Atmos. If it's Dolby True HD or an older format of Dolby, you can select the Dolby Atmos upmixer, or if you leave it on auto, it will do it for you automatically anyway. So again, if you click on the Manage tab, you can select various options with the decoder set up. So you've got Dolby here, DTS, Auro 3D, and some general settings for your PCM upmixer. The next tab down is the output for video, and like I said, I haven't got the video output connected to the Trinnov. I've had it connected to my HTPC straight into my projector, so there won't be any information displayed here. If you look at the video tab, you can see the video input, the video outputs, and if you go to setup here, actually before we go to the setup, you can look at the input edit file and the output, but like I said, I haven't got the HDMI connected to the Altitude 32 output, so you won't get any information here. If you look at the setup here, this is the HDMI inputs. So we've got 7 HDMI inputs on the current models. I believe the new processors will have 8 inputs. if you was to buy a new processor now, due to Trinnov upgrading their HDMI boards, you'll have 8 inputs. Currently my model has 7 inputs. These are actually switchable from 1.4 to 2, and then again from 2 to 1.4, depending on your choice. So if you click on the HDMI inputs, you can actually change them. So by default, 1, 2, 3 are 1.4, and then 4, 5, 6, 7 are 2.0. If you click on these, you can also change these if you wanted to. To apply the changes, you will need to reboot your Altitude processor, however. So moving on to the third setting down, third option, that is the Trinnov optimizer. So if you click on that, you'll see the Trinnov optimizer. This is the optimizer and remapping features. So what we can do, if we click the Trinnov optimizer, it will turn everything off, apart from the remapping, obviously. It will turn off the acoustic correction, the level alignment, the delay alignment. If you turn it back on, you can actually uncheck these one at a time. And I'll show you shortly what that does to the system. So I'll just dip into this real quickly just to show you. So at the moment we have the optimizer on, and if you quickly look at my optimizer graphs, this is the before and this is the after graph. So this is with the optimizer engaged. So if I go to bypass, which switches everything off, you can see how the graph changes. There's a huge change there. Again, if we go to the main page, you can see it's off because it's bypassed. If I then uncheck bypass and go back to the main page, you can see it's all back again. And if I go back to my graphs, you can see everything snaps back into place as the optimization is all on. Right, so you can also select the remapping option. So there's various remapping options. The main ones that you would really want to use is, if you don't want any, none. You don't really want to touch auto route. 2D remapping is for your ear level channel mapping if you don't have any Atmos speakers. 3D remapping is for both ear level and height channels. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You just really want to use those two, the 3D or 2D or none. At the moment I've got mine selected at 3D remapping to only do the surround channels and not the main channels. I'll quickly show you here as well. We'll go through all these options one at a time, but I'll just quickly show you. So if you go to settings here, you'll see that the remapping is on only for the surrounds in my case. So back to the main menu, clock. So this will show you the word clock, basically what the input sample rate and the current sample rate is, and the clock mode. So I'd suggest that you don't really touch this if you don't really know what you're doing. Just leave it on the default. You've got the Wi-Fi settings here. Mine's currently off. I've got the Altitude 32 connected to the Ethernet, hardwired. And then you've got the service tab which says connected to the Trinnov audio service. So this is fantastic, guys. So whenever you have a firmware update, Trinnov will connect to your processor and carry out the firmware update for you. So yeah, then you've got the update tab here. You can check to see, it says your system has the most recent version installed. Yeah, here again it will show you the version, the build date, basically this is when the update was done, product ID, your serial number, microphone, and again at the startup, basically this is the startup default preset that I use, which we'll touch on that in a minute. The maximum volume setting, you can change this as you like. You can bring it all the way down or up. But currently I like to have mine at -15. I believe it goes all the way up to, it goes quite high up actually. I don't recommend that you go any higher than than 0 dB really. Mine's set at -15 and it's plenty loud even at -20. So depending on your speakers and room, I'll just be a bit careful with where you set your maximum volume at. The dim level again is at -20. Like I said, if I click the dim button here, it will drop it -20 dBs. If I click it again, it will go back to plus 20 dBs. This is good if I'm demoing the system, and you know, if I'm gonna be flicking back and forth from different clips, and whilst I'm doing so, I just hit the dim button, choose another clip, and I'll go back onto the main volume, master volume. So here I'm able to control my front panel light, turn it on or off, and this is the keyboard features that you have here. And yeah, and that's pretty much it on this page. Yeah, that's pretty much all we have here.